Am I the a-hole for considering divorce over my wife's ex-behavior? I've been with my wife for 6 years, married for 1.5 years. Her son, let's call him Jake, is 9. He used to call me Dad, and we had a great bond. 5 months ago, his biological dad showed up. Since then, Jake has been repeating things his dad says and constantly insulting me. I went from "he is my dad" to "he is just my mom's husband." Ha ha ha. I talked to my wife about it, but she thinks he's just a kid and that I should let it go. Last week, Jake called me because his dad, who was supposed to pick him up from school and then take him shopping for his mom's birthday, bailed on him. I stepped in, took Jake shopping, and we had a good half day together. I even paid for the gift he picked out. When I dropped him off at his dad's, the man was sleeping and had completely forgotten to pick Jake up. On my wife's birthday, Jake lied and said it was his dad who took him shopping and paid for the gift, despite his dad never having a job or paying child support. His dad graciously accepted all the compliments and even made fun of the gift I gave my wife. My wife, however, didn't say a word to him. After the party, when Jake went to his dad's, I told my wife I was upset that she didn't stand up for me. She rolled her eyes and said, "Why? Because he was more thoughtful than you?" I told her the truth about what happened, but she didn't believe me. I even showed her my credit card statement and phone logs, proving that Jake called me on Tuesday. Frustrated, I left to stay with my brother because I can't be around someone who doesn't trust me. Here's the thing. My brother thinks I'm right. My mother-in-law has messaged me a million times, saying it's a misunderstanding and that I'm overreacting. My wife hasn't apologized. She came over yesterday and said she feels stuck because she doesn't want to make her son feel bad about his dad. She keeps saying, "He is just a kid, and you should be the bigger person." When I asked if she was apologizing, she said no. She insisted it was just a misunderstanding and added that she's seen how much her ex has been trying. Then she said I was acting like a needy man baby. I told her that if she thinks so highly of her ex and doesn't see my efforts, she should leave because she clearly doesn't get my point. She doesn't seem to care about any of the effort I put in. Her response? "That's exactly what I'm saying. You're acting like a needy baby who needs a reward. You need to man up if you love me." So now I'm torn. Should I start talking to a lawyer because there is no point in working on this? Or am I overreacting and should we try counseling? Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Start detailing your life now. I feel bad for the kid but not the a-hole. Your wife didn't apologize and didn't appreciate your effort to help her son. I'd say she deserves the deadbeat ex. Yeah, I was gonna say this. Clearly the ex is getting into her head, probably also in her pants, convincing her that you're not man enough and that you're wimpy for having feelings. If I were you, I'd let her be with her ex, who has done nothing for her and is taking credit for the work you're doing. You're not man enough for her? Cool, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Do her the favor of letting her be with someone who is man enough. Then, in a couple of months, when her son is miserable, she's being let down and neglected, and no one's taking care of either of them, she'll realize how good she had it with you. If she wants you to be like her ex so bad, let her be with him. The "man up" comment from her is the most insulting of all. Her deadbeat ex isn't a man. He's a literal cockroach. He abandoned his kid, and now that he's back, he forgets to pick him up and sleeps through it. He's a trash dad and a trash excuse of a man. Meanwhile, Opie has raised his boy since he was 3 years old, went out of his way to pick him up when Biodad forgot, and spent a half day with him. That's how a man behaves. That she's trying to pit Opie against her deadbeat ex just shows that she belongs with her garbage ex. I feel terrible for the poor kid though, not the a-hole Opie. While I understand her desire for there to be a bond between her son and her ex, I do not understand her total disrespect for you. She didn't believe you, called you a liar, refused to apologize, gaslit you, and then called you names. She's an a-hole. By the way, your stepson used you, lied about you, and embarrassed you. At that age, these are still a-hole moves. The ex is a piece of garbage a-hole. Unless you enjoy this level of disrespect from the three of them, you're going to have to leave. Not one of them will ever back down or treat you with respect if you become their punching bag. Not the a-hole. $10 bio dad told his son to say he bought it. $20 says that the divorce was a one-sided decision and she only married OP because she didn't want her or her son to be alone and broke. $50 wife and deadbeat dad still sleeping together. Update. Thank you everyone for your input. I really appreciate it. I'm contacting an attorney this week to help me with the divorce process. I can't continue living like this. Next story. Am I the a-hole for ruining my boyfriend's birthday dinner because I didn't accept to pay for everyone? I, 20 female, have been dating my boyfriend Ryan, 21 male, for about a year. For his birthday this year, I wanted to do something special. So I told him I'd take him out to a nice dinner, just the two of us, and I'd cover the bill. He was super excited and agreed. I made a reservation at a nice restaurant, put on a nice dress, and was excited to see his reaction. When I got there, I was surprised to see that Ryan had invited his best friend, who also brought his girlfriend. He hadn't mentioned anything about them coming. I was caught off guard, but thought, why not have a nice couple's dinner? The whole time, his best friend and his girlfriend ordered a ton of appetizers and multiple drinks each. I started panicking a little because I realized the bill was going to be way more than I'd planned for. Toward the end, Ryan leaned over and said, "Don't forget, you said you'd cover it." I told him I'd agreed to pay for his dinner because it was his birthday, not for another couple I didn't even know was coming. He said it's rude to invite people to dinner and not pay for them. At this point, I was already thinking, what the heck is wrong with you? And told him it's ruder to invite people to a dinner someone else is paying for without telling them first. I was so angry and just went quiet and waited for the waiter to bring the check. When the check came, I paid for my meal at his, then told his buddy he should cover the bill for himself and his girlfriend. Both of them looked at me like I'd insulted them and said I embarrassed them in front of the server. Ryan even called me cheap and said I'd ruin his birthday. All of this happened last Saturday, and since then, Ryan has been giving me the cold shoulder, only responding to my messages with insults about how I embarrassed him in front of his friend. Now I'm thinking about breaking up because he hasn't spoken to me in a week even though I wanted to apologize. Maybe some of you have advice for me? I wish you hadn't paid and had just left. Or at least only paid for your own food and left. He's using you. He's a nasty freeloading user. Now he's trying to guilt you into thinking you should have paid for his friends? You've got to be kidding me. Do not see him again. He's not a good person. He's a prick. Tell him that. You deserve better. You'll meet better. Don't settle for pricks. His whole behavior points to a D-head. And the second she tries to break up, the gaslighting will begin. Honestly, I'm starting to think you're right. His behavior has been so selfish, and I can already feel him trying to make me feel guilty about the situation. If I try to break up, I'm sure he'll turn it around on me. It's exhausting, and I'm realizing I deserve way better than this. I normally wouldn't suggest this, but you should just ghost him and forget him. He's already giving you the silent treatment. If he says anything, just say, "Oh, you're talking to me? I thought you broke up with me." I've already moved on and really don't want to talk to you ever again. Not the a-hole. Your boyfriend, his friend, and his friend's girlfriend are crappy, and you need to reevaluate whether or not your boyfriend cares about you, or if he's just using you. That was very rude and presumptuous in all three of their parts. Now he isn't talking to you over it? He's made it pretty clear the only thing he cares about is how you financially benefit him and his friends. Screw them all. You're better off now. You're too young to waste time on people who treat you like that. Thank you for your perspective. It really helped. You're right. His behavior was disrespectful and it feels like he and his friends took advantage of me. I wanted to make his birthday special, but instead, he called me cheap and hasn't spoken to me since. I realize now I shouldn't waste my time on someone who doesn't value me. It's time to focus on myself and find someone who treats me better. Not the a-hole. Sounds like this relationship has run its course. I'm starting to think you're right. His behavior was so off, and I've been feeling more disrespected than appreciated. I wanted to do something nice for him, and instead, he made it all about him and his friends. I think this relationship has run its course too. It's tough, but I know I deserve better. Next story. Am I the a-hole for buying a house without consulting my girlfriend of 4 months? I, 37 male, I'm a single dad with 2 kids, 16 male and 14 male. I met my girlfriend, 32 female, back in February. We dated casually and non-exclusively until September, and then we began dating exclusively. My girlfriend has indicated that she wants to have kids. She has no kids currently. I'm definitely open to that, but I've told her it would only be after dating for at least a couple of years. I've been looking to buy a new home. I absolutely hate living where I am now. I bought it when my kids were little, and it was convenient back then. However, my work is 30 minutes away, and the boys' school is 45 minutes away. Recently, a house came on the market in the neighborhood 5 minutes from work and 10 to 15 minutes from the boys' school. It was listed well below market value. My realtor called me, I saw it the same day, and I made an offer. The offer was accepted. I told my girlfriend the good news, but she was less than thrilled. She asked why I didn't consult her. The reality is that I've been looking for about a year, and houses move very quickly in this market. Often they don't stay available for more than a day if they're reasonably priced. I had to act fast. I explained all of this, but she's still upset. I talked to my sister, 34 female, about it. She said she understands my girlfriend's frustration. My sister explained that she was in a similar position 2 years ago. She was a single woman in her early 30s, looking to get married and have kids soon. In those 2 years, she met her husband, got married, and had a child. From her perspective, my girlfriend might be thinking this is the home her future kids are potentially going to be raised in. I can see her point, but I feel it's a little premature to expect that I would consult my girlfriend of 4 months before buying a home. That feels like moving too fast from my perspective. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You've only been exclusive since September. Sure, she might be imagining a life with you, but that doesn't mean she has a say in your housing now. True. As a single dad, your primary responsibility is to your children. You have the right to make choices that prioritize your and your kids' well-being. Not the a-hole. You're barely a couple. Honestly, this is a red flag that should be heeded. I wouldn't have kids with this woman without setting up some legal protections for your own kids first. If she's this upset so early in the relationship, I wonder what she'll demand down the road. And I'm saying this as a woman. OP is a father first, and he did what's best for his family. Moving closer to work and school is a smart decision. His girlfriend's feelings shouldn't override that. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. While it's always ideal to communicate openly in a relationship, after just 4 months, buying a house might not necessarily require consultation if you're financially independent. However, it could cause tension if your girlfriend feels excluded, especially if you've been building a future together. It's important to discuss major decisions with a partner, particularly if the relationship is serious. But ultimately, it depends on the dynamics and expectations you've set. Last story. Am I the a-hole for threatening to divorce my wife if she didn't become a proper homemaker in the next month? My wife and I have been married for 4 years. I'm 33 and she's 32. Her name is Steph. Steph is a stay-at-home wife, and since we got married, she has been incredibly inconsistent with household labor. I work a physically demanding job, and it would really help if Steph could at least cook dinner more than once or twice a week. Instead, she sits at the dinner table, hunched over her phone for hours a day. She's completely addicted to it but refuses to even have a conversation about this. Now, about twice a year, I have an opportunity to visit a foreign country for work. The nature of the work is to supervise construction and instruct the workers there. The compensation for these trips is always fantastic, and Steph appreciates it when I go because I bring home a pretty fat paycheck afterward. 3 weeks ago, I was about to depart for 2 weeks in one of these trips. At around 10 a.m., I texted Steph and said that time was tight, but I'd be home at 12:30 to pick up my luggage. I asked her if she could make me something for lunch, and she agreed. I emphasized that I only had about 10 minutes to eat before heading to the airport. At 11 a.m., I texted her again saying I'd be home as planned at 2:30. Again, she said, okay. At 12 p.m., I texted her that I was leaving. I walked in the door at exactly 12:30, only to find her sitting at the dinner table, hunched over her phone. When I walked in, she gave me this bewildered look. She had done literally nothing. Nothing was cooking. Steph stood up in a panic and said she'd start making me lunch, but I told her it was pointless. She sheepishly apologized and I responded, "Don't say sorry. Just be less freaking useless." This made her very upset. I just picked up my luggage, left, and went to the airport. I managed to pick up some food at the airport, but I really would have liked a home-cooked meal before eating out every day for 2 weeks. I got home last week and Steph was still angry. She said that what I said to her was over the top. I asked what she had been doing for those 2 weeks, and she insisted that she was super busy. See Instagram and Netflix. I gave her an ultimatum. She has 1 month, until January 10th, to get her act together and be a proper homemaker. I told her that if she couldn't, I would divorce her. Steph was super upset, and for the past week she has been sulking. Again, see Instagram and Netflix. She told her family about it, and her mother basically blamed me for Steph's lack of direction in life. I know it's nonsense that a 32-year-old woman needs her hand held to do anything, but was I being ridiculous with my ultimatum? Why can't she go back to work? Why does she have to stay home? I think it's fair to say if you're not going to do the duties of a stay-at-home wife, then you need to work. Yeah, mother-in-law's blaming him for her lack of direction. Then maybe she should go find a direction. I came into this thinking you were going to be the a-hole, maybe complaining about how she cooks and cleans or something. But reading that she only makes 2 meals a week and didn't even bother preparing you one last lunch on your last day in town when you specifically asked her to and gave her 2 heads up that you were on your way home? Not the a-hole. The fact that she was glued to her phone makes this even worse, because phones have clocks on them. If she knows she loses track of time easily, she could have set an alarm for 12 and had something ready for you by 12:30.